Holy dog shit. And dog shit's not a bad word. If your kids step in it, they say dog shit. If you step in it, you say, God damn it, I stepped in a pile of dog shit. And guess what? I got people messaging. Again, this is a three to 4 to 6 person job. I'm one grade 9 dropout. Running.
But you got to know how to do all the jobs. Otherwise, you're not the man for the job.
And this is what we're saying. We are live. And again, let's get this shit off the screen. We got to change this shit from 8 o'clock to 8:30 because this shit ain't on at 8 o'clock. Wow. I wasted 15 minutes of cat shit and dog shit doing this shit.
By the way,
I look good.
Your hair looks good.
Perfect. I know. I look better than most.
You have hair starting to grow out of your ears now. You know that.
By the way,
I'd be cutting them ear hairs.
If you want to hear a bunch of lies,
I only tell the truth.
Well, we were on echo mode. We got to shut the echo mode off again. You got to remember. Okay. I don't know where we started. I was trying to ask.
You were starting. I should get some glasses.
Well, you were trying to be funny, but you weren't. There's only one funny person on the show, and it's not you.
It's you.
No, it's not even.
Who is it?
It's not me. It's not me, and it sure as hell not you. Grab me a drink because I'm about ready to start having a beverage. Hi again. Yes, Tracy, I know.
Do you want the, which one do you want? The dab?
Or? I don't want that shit dab again. That shit is bad. Tonight's Irish night. Now, I gave you a bag of the Irish shit.
Okay, boy.
Okay, so pick out an Irish beer. We're going to split it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, guys, for looking down at the thing. Lock manager Ricky's doing what he does.
Remember?
Okay, we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk pigeons. We're not talking Reese's peanut butter cups. Let's get going.
Oops. I don't want people to look in my fridge.
Nobody's looking in this fridge.
So which one's the Irish beer, boy?
Grab one beer out of there. We're gonna split one beer.
Here you go, son.
We're gonna split one Irish beer tonight to start off.
Okay, boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
What's the name of her?
O'Hara's. Okay.
O'Hara's Irish Stout.
Stout.
Nitro. This is nitro. This is the. It's going to be good or it's going to be crap. It says it's smooth, creamy, traditional, dry Irish stout.
So
then they even. Can you imagine these Irish? They even put shit for our French people in French. I got to give thumbs up to the Irish because you know what? I wouldn't put no writing in French for no French people. I like the French, but I don't. Maybe this is Irish.
Do you think it's proper to go on the show drinking beer, Ryan?
I don't really care.
In front of a lot of people?
Chill, pull, pour.
Proper.
All right. So this is an Irish stout.
Let's see if it has head. Gives head.
Holy shit.
Holy jumping.
She's like concrete. Grab me yours. We're going Irish stout, boys.
She's like caca, boys.
Well, that would be... It's not getting a lot of head on her, right?
No, she doesn't give head, this one.
All right.
Just like caca.
Well, all right. So this is O'Hara's Irish Stout. Remember, guys, to like, share, and subscribe.
Looks like a chocolate milkshake.
The beer did sound good. It had a good sound when it opened.
Got a little ball in the bottom of it?
No. Smell it out of here. It has a nice smell. This is reminding me along the lines of Guinness. Now, I'm going to tell everybody.
I think this is darker than Guinness, though.
I don't know. I want to tell everybody to like, share, and subscribe. Again, the Dab, great beer. Rob says Dab's a great beer. Now, we do have Dab tonight. We're going to test Dab out against some of these Irish beers. That sounds good. Robert Hamilton, hey, Pioneer family. How are you? Tracy, hey. Now, tonight we were going to do the photos. Guys, I made a couple of mistakes on the photos.
That's where you left off before.
Well, I went to grade 9 and I failed her. And I dropped out because the pressure was getting to me. But that's okay.
I did grade 3 times.
I made it a little higher, but then crashed the plane. You know what? It was like me and Latchford this year. Here we go. Let's try O'Hara's.
Now, as you see, it looks like the head is growing on it.
Okay. I'm not smelling much. I do like the Irish.
All right, boys.
Try one out.
Oh, that's a good one.
Does it have a coffee
smooth,
taste? It's smooth. It has a bit of coffee taste.
It's got a heavier taste.
It's got weight to it.
Do I look pissy-faced?
Not yet, but you
But
will.
you sure do.
So tonight, getting on to the show, we're going to talk about cutting and pulling flights tonight because we're doing a little test. And because it's November 1st, it's December or October 31st. We're going to say tonight is November the 1st.
It's December.
December, November.
You'll be back in November. I know that. You'll be back in November.
I'll be gone for a while. Gone to November?
Gone till November.
Wyclef John. Cheers to this one, Ricky. Do you taste a bit of coffee in this beer? I don't know what I'm tasting.
I don't know what it is.
Is it
It's
good?
You can taste the barley in it. Heavy barley boy.
This isn't as smooth as Guinness. There's more zing to this.
Yeah,
Guinness is more softer. Wait, hold on, Henry. We got a question for you. And guys, this show works best when you ask questions. And if you don't ask questions and you're sitting there watching us, getting a free sampling of our Irish Stout, shame on you. We want you to contribute. We want you to participate. Hell, look at this guy here. He may only be living for another year and then he'll be dead. So guess what, guys? Well, you got the questions. Get them into
all
them.
I have to say, I'm very proud of myself.
You're a good guy.
I've taken in 5 years of old age pension so far, and I'm real proud of that. And if you people out there in especially Mr. Trudeau, if he hears that,
all right,
he's probably going to have a gunner after me.
All right, hold on. So we're going to start with the first question of the night. ABC Lofts. ABC, you're going to be getting your quarantine videos. Your birds look great in quarantine. Hopefully you enjoy the video we sent you. Again, quarantine birds for Americans are going out the week of December the 6th. That will solve our Americans. Canadian quarantine birds are ready for pickup. We're starting to contact the people. We already had about 40 birds picked up.
What were the numbers that graduated out of quarantine now? The numbers of birds?
I don't know. I don't want to.
About
200. 200.
200, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I fed them this evening.
How they look?
Boy, oh boy, they're just
beasts, aren't they?
Yeah, and they get bath water every day, plus a drinker, plus bath water. And
can I tell you? There's no quarantine out there that will bathe pigeons. I know it. And I know how I know it. I did the research. Anyways, okay. ABC Law from the United States. Hector, when pigeons throw up, what does it mean? Now, guys, this is open. This is an open forum. So if you have an opinion on what you think, go ahead and throw it in. But, Ricky, when a pigeon throws up, you go out to the loft and you're feeding the birds, you see a bird throwing up. Or you put a bird in a basket and he's throwing up. Or you see a bird that's humped up like this and he's throwing up. What does throwing up mean?
Oh, he could have young bird sickness. Right.
Okay. If he's a young bird.
Yeah. How often does he throw up?
Right.
Right. There's questions of, let's think about this. When he's all humped up, fluffed on the perch and he's throwing up. And when he craps, it's like water. There's got to be something wrong with him. But if a pigeon just throws up, I don't get, upset about it. I don't. And then you'll see other birds go right away and eat it up.
Yep.
To throw up.
You don't stop it ever, do you?
I never stop it.
I never stop it.
I don't stop it. Ooh, maybe I should though.
Sometimes you got to look. If you're in a section of super healthy birds and maybe a bird chokes on something, he throws up. If the section's all sick, throw up, well, there's something going on in there.
There's all wet on the floor.
Hey, first time you put babies in a basket, babies that are 4 months old, put them in the basket. You fed them with feed, put them in the basket, drive them around. Next thing you know, what do you see?
They're throwing up.
Throwing up. How many times have I looked in combine baskets on a trailer and it's full of puke? Most people think the birds are sick. There's a little bit of that, yes. But a lot of the time, the people haven't put the birds and got them used to the rocking and the rolling of being on that truck. Anyways, so you got to look at your group as a whole. I wouldn't over panic. Again, you can always separate the bird, put him in a separate basket on paper, see if he throws up, see how he's doing, see how his body is. Sometimes don't over worry. Hey, you know what? I had fish 2 nights ago. I threw up. the other night, about a week ago, I
Mm.
drank too much milk before I went to bed. I got acid in my throat.
Was it warm milk?
No, it was
Was
cold.
it that warm milk I made for you before
I
you
threw
went?
it. Well, no, I threw it up.
Did you?
Yeah, and it's just sometimes maybe something don't sit right in your stomach. Okay.
I was going to say about the throwing up. I mean, if you had more birds throwing up, if everybody's throwing up.
Hey, we're all going to get sick every once in a while.
I don't know. It could be bad feed, but I never ever had that problem. But I've had birds throw up when they're young birds. They get that young bird sickness. That's the throwing up. But at this time of the year, I don't have any throwing up. I don't see it. If I get one throw up, I just ignore it.
That's right. Okay, so Henry Rader says, "Good evening, Pioneer family." Michael Tracy.
Henry
Rader.
Yeah.
Now, Henry, do you want to sell Baloney, Jeffrey, or Michael Jackson? Please let me know. Michael Peevler says, D. Tracy, the Battle of Ohio, MF, I don't know what that is. Robert Hamilton, when you come to Australia, we're going to have Aussie beer. When I come to Australia, I'm going to show you in Australia how to drink. I always get a challenge. Hold on.
Just hold on. Getting back to throwing up. If you think your birds, there's something going on and they're throwing up, you're probably right now not really even flying them because the hawks are going off and you've got them parked. I would just put them on straight barley for 5 days to a week. Put them on straight barley. Put that barley in there and make sure they eat it.
We got a question for you too.
A light feeding.
So there's a question for Ricky here from Rob. We're gonna and don't take this. This is a serious question.
Okay.
So Henry says this. Hey Ryan, did you take Ricky out for trick or treating? Yeah, I told you. We went to the LC, bud. They were giving free beers away. That's why we dressed up as two pigeon flyers, and they gave us. Anyways, Bruce Dickinson says, just received my first old age pension check this month. Guys, this is where the sport's heading. It's all downhill from here.
Hey, Bruce.
Good job.
Bruce, I got 5 years now.
Of the check?
Of the old check.
Okay. Well, like I said, you're ready to go into the ground soon, so watch out.
I'm feeling pretty good.
So Rob, I don't know where Rob's from. He's from YouTube. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. Now, Rob asked you, this is just for you. I have a question for Ricky. If you could go back and fly Matheson again, the race you just flew.
Yeah.
What would you do different to prepare the birds? Or would you do anything different on what you did?
Oh, I wouldn't do anything different. I thought the birds did. I wouldn't do anything different. No.
Would you train harder going up to it?
We do that before that week. It was a lot of rain.
It was all rain. All we did was loft.
We loft flew in the morning and then in the afternoon.
Okay.
Yeah, loft flying.
So you would. Do you think they needed a trainer, or would you have trained them if you could have?
Yeah, I think a toss would be good.
Okay.
I think about a 50-miler about 3 days before the race.
So Wednesday?
Yeah, so it would do something different, but you can't do anything different if you're not allowed to.
Okay, now, would you have fed any differently?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, well, there you go.
No,
There's a man, Claudio. Hey, Claudio, we're working on the photos. Again, guys, tomorrow night, we're going to have the Pioneer Championship Awards show, where, again, we're going to have more beer and more fun, and you're going to see all the photos of the superstar birds. Claudio, congratulations. I'm glad. Claudio took Knuckles home and Black Panther, and he took him to a respectable flyer in our area, Joe Ferrer. Joe really thought the birds were in super shape, which is good. That's what I expect a good pigeon man to handle, and he's seen that. Rob, getting back to your comments on preparing the birds, I noticed on Ricky's birds compared to mine, what I did notice was your birds stumbled more.
That's right.
Your birds were out of more gas. I think when I looked at his birds on the same property, I seen.
Just hold on.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
You needed more. You needed more gas. You were out of gas, and it showed in the birds on the day. But
Rob asked the question if I would do anything different.
I'm telling you, if I was flying your birds, what I would have done different.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
And they were. And out of gas.
They were out of gas.
A little bit out of gas.
Yeah, they were stumbling.
Well, you could see in the first, what do we get, 23 on the day?
I had 15.
I thought you had 17.
15 or 17.
Yeah.
You had 6.
I had only 6.
Well, what's 23 minus 6?
Do you have a calculator?
No.
27.
No. What's 23? Come on, what's 27?
17.
So I had 17 on the day.
I'm dyslexic.
What? Lick. Okay. So we've almost got the.
See, I can see you don't enjoy a beer.
Or I don't know how you drink it so goddamn slow. Anyways, guys, this show works better when you guys have questions. We're going to cut and pull some flights tonight on some birds. And Henry, I got 17 birds. That was the best race of the year. Now,
what happened the race before, my friend?
We split 50-50. Actually, I had one more bird on the 22 on the drop. I believe I had 12, and you had 10. No.
Or did I have 9?
9. And I think you had a twisted sister. I purposely went for all fat feed. You went with the standard wheat, corn, barley.
The stuff that you didn't even see.
Well, you used the Boost X5. And it proved the Boost X5 didn't do it.
I didn't use reindeer corn this time either.
Yeah, you're so full of shit because we've seen it. So don't lie to the people. Come on. I use no oils on the feed. I use no Boost X5.
All I want to say is I want to give a great applaud to the guy that said you effed my bird this year because you soaked the wings and the bird went under the loft. I want to give a special applaud to that gentleman. That bird
Kenny
actually won
the race. I flew it.
Won the race.
I flew it.
And you did shit with that bird, but it still won the race. And I don't want to mention names because
Ken's a master Medina breeder. Okay.
I got another story which some people. New beginners. I'm just going to say one thing. New beginners.
We want to talk about
when you're talking to a guy that's had pigeons a long time, okay? Actually, 62 years, going to be 63 years. When you ask a guy, I put 5 birds in your one loft race. How come I only have 2 left? At the end.
Yeah.
They flew right to Matheson, right? Okay, boys. Hey, I've had him 62 years. You ask me a stupid question like that, put me right up against the wall. Hey, man, that's like the guy that said you soaked my birds and screwed me up. Like, let's grow up, folks. But new guys, they don't know what to ask. Mm-hmm. So I can smell them a mile away. So don't ask me a dumb question. That bothers me.
Remember, a lot of people don't realize 300 miles in a 300 miles, basically anything, is tough. 300 miles in a headwind is tough. 318 miles in a headwind after flying 13 races or 11 races or 8 races on a tough course.
This guy's birds flew 13 races.
But people don't understand what they're asking. They think it's like taking a piece of bread and putting butter on it. It's that easy, and it's not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you hear, hey, folks, what I'm saying is the truth. And you got to appreciate when a nobody flyer asks you that question and tries to slam you on against the wall like you're a dumb stupid pigeon man. It's like me going into a Chinese restaurant after the guy's been cooking Chinese food for 100 years and telling him
how to cook Chinese food.
I'm a Canadian. You can't cook Chinese food. He's going to look at me like
you're backwards.
Yeah, you're backwards.
I'm
just saying some of the shit that comes out of people's mouths.
Good job. Finish that so we can get to the next Irish ale. Rob says, I appreciate the answer. I just watched what Ryan fed his birds, and I think it made a difference.
It sure did. It made a difference. You had 4 on the drop. They clocked so fast. My bird was the 5th bird. 3 minutes later, and it stumbled.
I didn't look at how many birds I got on the drop. I looked at birds on the day. I think both of our lofts, the birds looked completely.
I got to swallow.
Beat.
Right.
And but I gave them a different. I gave them a little bit different, and I fed them Again, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I was feeding pigeons. At midnight, I was feeding pigeons. At 9 o'clock, I was feeding pigeons. And you people, I didn't bring you along that ride because next year maybe I will. Okay. What did you feel about the benzene blue? I'm not against the benzene blue. I've done more research on the benzene blue. And I had a gentleman that's in a big one law phrase. He's told me how he's been using it. It's a bit expensive. If you use it straight, it don't work. We tried it. The guys you watched me try it, don't work.
So what are you saying? You got to put an additive into it?
I talked to somebody else. They said they use it this and this. They had no problems. But again, if you were to take it face value off the bottle, I don't know if it. And again, I tested it 1 year. If I tested it 10 years with people's hard-earned money birds, then I'd have an answer.
Well, I think we tried it out there at one point, and
it didn't fix the problem.
No, I personally wouldn't go out and buy it again. That's
right.
it. I think I
for $90 a bottle, is it worth it?
Some Joe that's got good luck, maybe doesn't get sickness, and he's giving it, and he thinks that's the shit that's doing it. I don't think so. I think it's overpriced, and I really don't think it makes a difference because we tried it, right?
Right.
And
I sold my second bottle away. And this isn't to knock the product.
It doesn't work like the clocks work. Clocks work beautifully.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, and I think what we're saying is if you put the product in the water and it works where you don't have to think, great. We put it in. I didn't say to him, holy jumping, where's this stuff been? We got to buy a case of this stuff. Keep it on.
I didn't see a little more sparkle in the birds at all.
To be fair, we don't see what Ricky feeds. He fed, and
I don't want you telling people what I fed because that's my business.
Okay.
If I want to show it, I'll show it.
I didn't show it because I wasn't in there with you when you fed. No, what did you feed? What did you feed the birds?
I'm not telling them what I fed.
Okay, well, guys,
that's my business. Okay. Remember, they know what you fed.
The show. Well, that's it. We know how you got your ass whooped. So why don't you tell them what you fed? And next year, don't feed that shit so you can keep up. And that work better? Good. You like that one?
No, he knows. I know.
I know what you fed.
Okay.
Barley, wheat, corn, peanuts. The difference between when you fed pigeons and I fed, get rid of the barley. You can keep a bit of wheat. You can keep the reindeer corn. You can keep the peanuts. Those are the three I would have used. I would have fed them 5 times a day. And I would have fed wheat one time, and come back, corn one time. I come back, peanuts one time. Then I come back, corn one time. Then I come back, wheat one time. Then I come back, peanuts one time. And I rotate. But that's what I would have done.
That's why you won the race. You're so far ahead. Well, so I can't say anything more. All I want to say is you did a fine job.
The benzene blue is supposed to be good for the guts. Henry asked this question. It's supposed to clean them out, everything.
I don't know. I just wouldn't buy them again.
You know what? If they said to me here, try her out again, I would try it. I just, at this point, I'm not in the $90 bottle.
Apple cider vinegar to my birds every single day. You didn't do that. That's probably why you maybe did better than I do. Because I'm getting the real mother's apple cider.
Which I got for you.
Every single, you got it. And I also bought some at Costco. They had a sale on. Okay. So I bought some. And I don't know. You didn't do it. I did it. Is that the problem?
Your apple cider wasn't the problem. Your birds had no fat. They burnt out. They were done. I seen it in them. I felt it in them. I felt Knuckles. Knuckles, the nicest handling pigeon of the whole year. Put that pigeon in a show. He was the best of the best. He takes the average speed winner and the high point winner, and guess what he does? He puts them in the ground, and they're garbage. The way his body was constructed, Knuckles. Knuckles was a good pigeon. I seen him come home from that race. We handled him with Claudio and the people that were here. The pigeon said, I got no more than 5 more miles left, and I'm done. And that means Everything he had.
Now, that
pulled
guy
out.
that called me about his 5 birds and he's only got 2 left after all this shit, and he listens to what you're saying, he's going to call me up tomorrow and say, hey, Rick.
You fed him great.
Ricky,
You did great. You did do great. I upped the game. I made another move that was different than what you did.
That's right.
And this is when you're competing against somebody. It's people that we say, lift every stone that you turn over, you get a bit
How
better.
did you start doing this, Ryan?
Well,
Did it come naturally, or
don't
tell
I want you to
anybody.
look up there, Ricky. I've been to the mountaintop.
I won't look up there because we're on camera, and I haven't had my nose hairs done, and that's very embarrassing.
Yes.
I know.
Ricky used apple cider. I used apple cider along the way. I stopped at about, I don't know, race 1 or 2 with the cider. I pulled it away.
So you don't believe in it either?
No, I do. But
Why'd you stop?
oh,
I'm gonna nail you right in the
I
corner.
wanted to be something different. I want to see how I did. Now, Ricky, we've done O'Hare's. Now, O'Hare's stout wasn't bad. What are you going to rate this out of 10? You can give it.
I think you have to acquire a taste for it, really.
I'm going to say
think
this beer. I mean, drinking it again. What would you rate it as? Could you have another one?
I find it fairly heavy. That's what I find it, heavy beer.
So you're going to go what, a 4.2? I'm going a 4.2.
What do you mean 4.2?
Well, a 4.2. I don't know if I'd have another one.
There's a reason why they made it. There's
Okay.
a reason. You got to enjoy the taste of it.
Okay.
And you got to acquire a taste of it.
Well, I'm pretty well rounded here.
I couldn't eat olives when I was a little boy. Now I can eat them by the jar, right? And
Okay.
actually, when I was 15, I didn't enjoy beer.
So for your first
But
time,
now-
okay, so for your first time drinking it,
Yeah.
what would you score it out of 10?
10.
You'd score it out of 10 for your first
Yeah.
time drinking it.
Yeah.
So no better beer you're gonna drink the first time.
No, there's a lot of beers that are 10s for me.
So that's a 10.
That's a 10. I think this beer has a nice, solid, thick taste, creamy, very good.
So it's a 10.
Yeah.
It's not a 9.
No, 10.
Could it get any
No.
better?
Yeah, it could. But if I get a
Well,
shot,
if you could only score it out of 10, why would you give it
I
a 10?
could make it better. I'd take a shot glass of whiskey and drop it in.
Okay, go in the
Then
freezer.
that'll be better.
Go in the freezer and grab me another beer. He doesn't. This guy couldn't figure out how to rank anything. It's almost like you're slowly, like you're half dumb or something.
I am.
I know. Get going. Yeah, he never finishes his final glass because he's. As we wait here, guys, Ricky's going back in, and we went from one Irish stout to the next one. We're going Harper's.
So
We only need one, Ricky. We're gonna split it.
is that a lager or a pilsner?
This shit here.
Most questions you should be able to answer.
This is a stout.
It's a stout.
Is there any real? Oh, this is a lager. We're going with Harp.
Actually, I like a pilsner the best.
Harp, brewed in Ireland. We always like the Irish. Again, it must be knockoff from the Guinness breweries because it's got the little harp on there. Let's hear how it sounds. Remember, guys, listen up.
You know, you shouldn't be drinking beer on this show. This is a family show.
Mug Ricky. Oh, this is total difference. Hold on. We're giving her some head here to start.
Yeah, you did it like last week. You gave too much head. You couldn't even drink it.
It's all right. Let her sit for a moment.
That's a
Harp.
little better.
It's Harp Brewery
This
Ale.
is a family show.
Okay, we gotta get.
My dad was a family man. When he drank beer, he used to run underneath in the garage behind in the dark place in the corner. No.
Okay.
Drank beer.
So this is a lager. Smell this. This smells totally different. This smells sweet, doesn't it? Oh yeah. Again, both beers. That's 4.3. O'Hare's is a 4.3. And this is a 5%er. Rosedale Loft. Need a touch of lime to go with it on a harp. A touch of lime. Let's see. Oh, I think I'm going with the O'Hare brew.
That's a nice beer.
They're both good. totally different. I went with 2 Irish beers. I just went in and said, this one's got Irish and that one's got Irish. But stout is different than lager.
Do you mind if I cross my hands like this?
You can do whatever you want. Okay, so for next year's Pioneer One Loft race, we're thinking about people complained. I'm not going to say people. We talked about the darkening. We talked about the darkening system. And the darkening system works great. It adds an element of stress to the pigeons. Okay. And remember, the one loft pigeons that come in, there are, right?
Okay.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yes, but we're going to change it a bit next year.
We're going to change it. And I think to go with the lighting system, we can have the birds out for 12 hours a day, which he doesn't like when I touch it, but the birds can go out for 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day. Birds can be put on the light. They get more fresh air, more time to be wild pigeons, which wild pigeons is good, isn't it? I believe, like your kids, pigeons got to be able to be free.
Let a pigeon feel like a pigeon.
Feel like a pigeon. Get in the wind.
Let
pick
the
on the
horse
grass.
feel like a horse.
Right.
Right.
And I think the lighting system is going to work the best. Now, to do this lighting system, I think there's 2 things that we're going to need to do. I think we're going to need to pull the tail feathers on all the birds when they come in at a point.
Right.
And we're going to have to cut either the 8th,
7th, 8th, and 9th.
7th, 8th, and 9th. We're going to cut and pull.
And 10th.
7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. That's 4 flights.
Yeah.
4 flights.
On one wing.
No, on both wings. Both.
Are you doing it on both?
Yeah, because you got to molt through on both wings. Come on here. What do you follow the ball, man? What are you going to pull it on one wing? They're look like they're going to have one wing they're molting and one wing they're not. You got to do it on both. So
there was a stupid question I asked.
Yeah, and you're a veteran.
I'm saying I'm a veteran, somebody that doesn't know.
Harp.
But at least,
Harp.
So yeah, we're gonna. I'm sorry, I got a little dyslexic.
Okay. So what we want to do?
Pull the tail feathers.
Pull the tail.
It's not going to hurt them.
No.
Okay.
Because when you pull tail feathers, you naturally, the insides, it triggers the pigeon. The endorphins.
Endorphins.
Something inside. I don't know the name, but it boosts the bird for the immune system to start running.
But by rights, if you know anything about pulling feathers, the pigeon should pull his own feathers. That's what starts that immunity.
Here's
immunity.
Here's Michel Vanderyak. I gave Mike a French name. I'm calling him now Michel. Mike Vanderyak, for until the new year, he's going to be known as Michel. Michel Vanderyak says you need to pull the flights. So out in the basket there tonight, Ricky, we are going to do a little test.
Getting back to pulling tail feathers. To make that physical thing work for the birds, he has to pull his own tail feathers. That means
he has
to fly away
and pull.
And let him, and he pulls out his feathers.
Right.
And that is the
hawk chasing the pigeon.
The hawk chasing the pigeon. And,
right.
And what Mother Nature does there is give the bird that extra, I don't know what you say it, immunity.
It kicks in. It's like
immunity.
if you go on vacation, you grab one of those, those iguanas on the resorts. If you grab it by its tail comes off in your hand. It's an immunity to say, get moving faster. It stimulates something. But okay, we got some questions here. So Mike says, with the light system, you're going to need to pull the flights. Well, that's what we're talking
about.
That's
100%, yeah.
And Mike, I'm glad that you can see that. Will says, what's going on, guys? I'm late. No problem, Will. Welcome. Claudio says, that's going to be a lot more work for you. Guys, when we take your perch fees, you bring your birds to us. I know it looks like we sit here and we have drinks and we cook and we have fun. When it's time to work with your birds, if we have to drop, vaccinate, pull flights, whatever for the birds, for what the birds have to go through, that's part of the job. That's why you pay a perch fee. Do you ever wonder what your perch fee's for? It's for training them down the road. It's for giving them feed, giving them water, taking a look. Do they need a canker treatment? Do they need a cocci treatment? Do they need yellow drops? Do you separate them? All things that you look at. But Claudio, you're 100% right. Is it more work? I don't look at more work. I want to get a better product for you guys. Okay. I heard, Robert Daughtry says, I heard 3 middle tails and 8, 9, 10 primary flights. Okay. Good thought, Robert. Have you ever thought about one loft drinking and one loft lightning and one loft darkening? We've done the dark. I love the dark. I know the light will work, no problem. If where we are here, we need time. And time is the one thing you can't buy. So you're going to have to use the time. And lightning gives you the time. When it's light here at 5 o'clock in the morning, you can get birds out. And you can leave those birds out till 7, 8 o'clock at night. And it gives them time to be pigeons, to be wild pigeons, to go up and down and pick on the lawn and sit on the roof and sit in a tree and fly around and have a bath. It allows it. When you're in a darkening system, you'd lose at least 8 hours a day of light, which shortens the pigeons. What is that? Pigeons being pigeons. And I think it's not as good.
It shortens the natural.
Yes.
About being a pigeon, and
right.
It's like really, I think it's like a tomato in a greenhouse. Greenhouse tomatoes don't come the same as a tomato that can go out in the sun and, you know.
Right. It's different. You know. I was talking to Darren May, and Darren May's got the horse lighting. Okay. And ultraviolet lights, a couple of these lights. Now, these aren't lights that you would get at Canadian Tire.
You mean
Home
you buy
Depot.
these lights special?
These are special lights.
They're not called horse lights, are they?
Yeah, it's
or they use them on the horses.
They use them on the horses.
Right.
The horse company is producing them. Okay.
Oh, is it?
And this is the type of light that puts off endorphins through the lights.
Endorphins.
Like it makes you feel better. It gives you.
It's endorphins.
Yeah.
It's like
hydroponic.
Yeah.
So
it's like endorphins is something that you really like, and you get
your body needs it.
For instance, sex gives you endorphins.
Okay, it's kind of like remember when we were
like going dancing.
Right.
You get those endorphins.
Or when you hear a good song.
Good music
gives you an endorphin.
Endorphins. Or horseback riding.
But these lights produce the rays to give that naturally. So and Darren was saying in hospitals, people that have depression, they have these lights in the hospitals for people that suffer depression. We're not saying pigeons have depression, but these lights is something that they've been using. Now it's using on horses, big dollar horses, and it's working. He tried it. He says, man, this works. We're going to get these lights.
Can we not get them here? Do they not use it here for horses?
From this company, this brand, I'm getting it from them. I heard it. It is hard to proper darken with a long intake. Light system is easier. Yeah, and Mike, you're right. The lighting system is easier, and we all know that darkened pigeons, when they're your own pigeons, hey, and you got 5 that look bad, you knock them off and get rid of them. But when you're taking birds in for a one loft race, it's sure harder to say, I gotta go grab Ricky's birds and not these 2 don't look good, knock them off. They didn't handle it. And I think the lighting is going to be a bit better. I think it's going to be 55%. I think it's going to be 100% better. It's going to be good. Gang 1 says, what you mean is it gives the right spectrum of sun. I think what it does is there's vitamins in the lights that stimulate the birds in different ways. It's like, for instance, I said it 100 times. If you want to breed, I think, super pigeons in the winter, light bulbs are great. Put the lights on for 18 hours, great. I bet you put a hydroponic light on for 14 hours a day. Hydroponic, whatever the hell it is. The shit that grows marijuana. You put those lights on in your loft, you watch how those breeders, they'll turn right on. Because if plants grow with it, and greenhouses are using it, it'll work. for the birds.
The only thing you got to watch out for is the government's helicopters flying over your place.
Yeah, full spectrum lighting, Stephen Brown. What we talk about is we're talking about 16, 18 hours of daylight. I mean, again, the reverse of the darkening system.
Well, I noticed in that last race there, another thing, you didn't mention it. You had your lights on in there 24 hours a day. I noticed that.
Well, and the reason I had the lights on was because I was feeding throughout the night. And what do you need when you eat? You got to drink. But I had the birds in the boxes in the sections.
Well, I noticed that you had the lights on 24 hours a day.
I don't like that. But I tried it to feed them.
But I think that could be something you did.
No, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to have the lights on, but I wanted to get the feed into it.
Maybe you didn't know about it.
I don't think.
But somebody else picks up on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good point. But I don't.
Next year, if you shut those lights off, it might make a difference.
My problem was I wasn't feeding pigeons in individual boxes.
You never had a problem.
No, you're such an asshole. I didn't have birds in individual boxes, so
you couldn't teaspoon feed them.
Right. So I had to hand feed them on the floor. So what did I decide to do? I said, hell, they're going to sit in their boxes and they're going to rest with the lights on to the best of their ability. And it worked.
So next year, what are you going to do to feed them like this?
I do the same thing to kick your ass. If I was feeding my own race team, I'd have had the hens in boxes and fed them individually in their boxes.
Right.
Then I wouldn't have to worry. I could feed them throughout the day and shut the lights off at night.
Now, let me ask you something. When you feed through the night like that, do you sleep in between feedings? You?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
You were on a cot or in the loft?
No, I slept in the house.
Thanks. You know horses sleep standing up.
Yeah. Oh, and I was talking to Darren May, and Mike, I'll get back to you here in a minute. They have a white light. They have 3 different lights, a white light, a red light, and a blue light. He's only used the blue light, and he said the results are unbelievable. But different shades of light throughout the day give a different vitamin to the horse. They said that horses rest better with the blue light on. They did a study on this shit. Okay, hold on. Mike Vanderyak says, will you vaccinate for pox in 2023? Of course we're going to vaccinate for pox.
We're going to do it. We're not going through that shit again.
You know what? I shouldn't say if we're getting American birds. We're going to vaccinate for pox because you never know when you're going to get it.
Don't blame anybody.
No, we're not blaming anybody. We're going to vaccinate for pox. It's not a big thing to do.
If I go to a one-off race, I vaccinate my birds for pox.
Yeah. Bill says, no harm. The amount of, no harm. The amount of loft visits you've done. I learned a lot, but seem to want to know your own thing just to do what all races do. Lock them up till February. Doesn't seem to stop the main flyers here in North Ireland. Okay, let's read this again. Bill writes this. Bill Gilmore. Great name. Again, I'm not a good reader, so let's try this. No harm. The amount of loft visits you've done. I've learned a lot, but seem to want to your own thinking. Just do what all races do. Last race, lock them up till February. Doesn't seem to stop the main top flyers in Northern Ireland. I think what you're saying is if you lock the birds up until February or March or whatever, I think if you're locking your race birds up, I think you better make sure you don't overfeed. You better keep the weight right. You better actually have them. Give them good protein to put the good feathers on. Recharge them. Don't give them a cheap feed. Give them a good feed. But give them less amount. Little piece of steak, little piece of baked potato, little piece of corn. Don't give them a big piece of steak, big piece of baked potato, 3 pieces of big corn, 3 cobs of corn.
Why wouldn't you do that, Ryan?
Because what you're doing is you're loading them up with fat. So when they go out in the springtime, you know what they're like? They're just like, holy shit, man. We ate great. We're heavy. Now you're stripping it off. I think you're better to have them lean. Go in there and make sure to take that piece of corn out of your finger. Make sure, hey, anytime I can go in, I got something going. Every time I go in, I can feed them. They'll eat. They respect me. They eat. They feed them in the box. They eat. Climb on my arm. They eat. I think it's better. Gang 1 says, I don't think leaving lights on 24 hours a day is going to work, destroy sleep. Okay. No, and again, we're not talking about with the lighting system leaving the lights on 24 hours a day. We're talking about giving them about 12 to 16 hours of daylight a day. Over 12 hours, between 14 and 16 hours of daylight a day, and letting them sleep for 8 hours. So it'll go dark when nighttime comes. So here in the spring, it goes dark between 8 and 9:30. It's dark. It gets light 6:30 in the morning. That's the time they'll be on. So they'll be on a natural rise, and just a natural, not a natural, but at 9 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. No, it would be 10 o'clock at night. The lights will go out. If there's not enough daylight, natural light, we'll keep the lights on till 10 or 11 in that time and let them wake up with the sun. You're talking shit, you know. You would not win a race here. Hey, I wouldn't win a race. You're right. I wouldn't win a race where you are. I wouldn't win a race.
Where is that?
I don't know. I don't know what you mean. I would